Well, I've been making a lot of homemade wreaths on my other channel, and I'm loving making them. And I'm getting so many family members saying to me, oh, can you make me one for Christmas? So, of course, I'm going to make them for family. And I've been using these on them, which are resin transfers. And these work out really, really well. Now, I did a video on it a while ago where I showed, a few years ago, where I showed you how to make these. But I'm also going to try something slightly different with them today. Because I'm getting so short of them, I thought I'd make some more and share with you what I'm going to attempt. Now, when I make these, I like to work on acetate because I find acetate is the best product to work on. I also like to use ink pads like this, which have either permanent ink on or acid-free ink in. Archival ink, and then I'll show you what I use to colour them in. They're really easy to make and don't take long at all. You do need some stamps, and I've got quite a large selection of stamps because I make a lot of cards. I make all my own cards. So I'm going to be using these Christmassy stamps. Now, some of these stamps are getting really past it. Look, that one doesn't even stick anymore to that. So what I'll do is I will load that stamp up like this with my ink, and you need to leave a little bit of a gap around here, and then I'm going to push that down and then try and lift that up without smudging it if I can. Needs a bit more ink on it, that. And the great thing is, if you do mess up with this, what you can do is you can go on virtually straight away either with a baby wipe or some of this cleaner, stamp cleaner. Take that off and just start again. If you can't get it all off, a little bit of 99% alcohol will clean that right off. So let's push that down a little bit harder. Make sure we've got that fully covered. This stamp might be running out, to be honest. I've used it so many times. So let's try it again. Go about there. We push that down and we'll lift that up. Yeah, that's not too bad. That's come out a bit better. It's still not brilliant, and I do want it more solid than that. So I've re-inked that up, making sure I'm leaving a little gap going around it. I'm going to pop that on there. I'm now going to put my block on so I can try and get an even push. And now we can lift that up and see if that has given us an image. And it has, look. Merry Christmas. It's not as strong as I would have liked it, but that should do. Let's try one more. Again, we're leaving a gap big enough. So that one's come out much better. So I'm going to wipe that one off, and then I can put something else there. And these can be used on all sorts of things. You can use them inside resin projects, which I've done before. You can put them on cards, or you can put them on wreaths. Oh, there's so many different things that you can put them on. Let's do a couple of reindeer. There's one. He's cute. There's two. Oh, I think I wiggled that one about too much and blurred him, so I'm going to get rid of that. And then do another one. It is easy when you're printing on acetate to do that, to be honest. You need to go down. That's better. That's a much crisper image. And again, I'm leaving gaps between them because you'll need to be able to cut these out. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to fill my next sheet up, and then I'll show you what I'm going to use to colour these in and finish them off. Now, once these are dry, and leave them for about 10-15 minutes to be dry, then you can start colouring them in. Now, I use a mixture of things normally for colouring in. I use either acrylic paints like this, or Posca coloured paints, acrylic pens, but I also use these permanent markers as well if there's any areas that I think I just need to go over a little bit more. So if there's a little bit that's missed, so there is here on this foot, then I will just go around it and I will just outline that foot a little bit more with a permanent marker. Because permanent markers will mark on these acetate things quite well. Now, what I also want to see is if I can actually mix up some of the chameleon powders and get them to dry on here and see if they will pick up on here. So that's the one I'm going to test first. What I'm going to use for a base for the chameleon powders is my matte sealer by Resin. Now, I'm not going to need too much in here. I want to make sure that is fully mixed in there and there's no dry bits anywhere. Now I've got that mixed up, I can dip my brush in it and then paint this on. Now I tried to be as neat as I possibly can with this and go right up to the very edge of the black that I've put on here without going over it too much, because I want that black to really show when I've poured the resin over it and it's all cured up. Now this will also work on moulds, doing it like this. If you want to paint moulds and things like that, it just is brilliant. Try and get an even coating on it as well, that way, because if not, all your brush marks and everything will show. And that won't take long to dry either. Look how pretty that is. And once it's had one coat, you can always go over and smooth it all out a little bit, or you can give it a second coat. And you can also do this with mica powder as well. So I want white here for the beards and different pieces. So I'm going to mix some white mica powder in, same way, and give that a until it's mixed in fully. Wash out my brush, and this is water soluble while it's wet as well. And then I can paint on my white. Now this one I don't mind if it's got brush marks in it, because this is his beard, and I think I'll give him a goldish colour boots. Now I've not tried this method before, making these transfers using this mixture. I've used it on moulds and different things and painted with it, but I've never used it on making transfers, so I don't know how well it's going to come out. But I'm hoping it's going to come out really, really well. So I'm going to do a few more using that mixture, and then I'll show you what my next method would be. Well, I've finished painting those ones now, and I need them to dry. They look quite good that side, I think. I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if the resin's going to grip hold of that tight enough from this acetate yet, because I haven't tried that method before. This method I've tried lots of times and I know definitely works. So what I'm using now is acrylic paint pens, and I'm going to put some white in here for the beard. Again, trying not to go too over the black, because I want it to pick up the black, and if the white is creating a barrier, then it may not pick up the black. But it doesn't. If it doesn't, then there is a way around sorting that out at the end anyway. So I can use all the colours that I've got here, and I'll just continue painting these in the same way as I painted the other ones. Because of my tremor, I'm not very good at getting into the details on these, but you can do that. I could do with some finer tipped pens as well, but my white of the finer one isn't coming out. I think it must have dried up in its pot. And give it a little bit more closer detail, I suppose, like this. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll finish painting these using the painting pens like this and some acrylic paints, a mixture of both, and then I'll show you how I'm going to cover them in resin. So these are all dry now, and they're ready for me to put my resin on. That's the one where I've used the chameleon powders. And this is the one where I've used the acrylic paints and the acrylic pens. So now I'm going to mix up my resin, and I'm going to be using, I don't want to use a really thin resin for this, but I don't want to be using a really thick resin either. So I'm going to be using the pure glossy. I'm not going to need much. I just need a very thin layer over both pieces. So I'm going to mix up probably 200ml resin for this. Get PPE on, and before I put my PPE on, I haven't mixed any resin in here today. I never work in my studio without having my Resiner's air purifier on. It makes such a massive difference. I'll still wear a mask, but I know it's purifying the air. It's got a patented filter inside that actually gets rid of all the VOCs from resin. It's specifically designed for resin. It also tells me what the temperature is in the room. It also tells me the humidity, the amount of VOCs that are currently in the room, which is very low at the moment because obviously I've not poured any resin. And this is still my first filter as well. I haven't even changed the filter yet, and it's not telling me that the filter needs changing, which is excellent. So if you haven't got one and you value your safety and your purity of the air in your room, I would suggest you get one. So I've got my resin mixed up now, and what I'm going to do is pour a little bit in the middle here. Now there's going to be quite a few bubbles in this because I haven't put it in the degasser. I don't need to at this stage because I'm going to burn them off in a minute, and it's only a very thin layer, so they'll come right up to the top. All I need to do is make sure each piece is well covered. That's enough. And now I'm going to take one of these spatula type things, and I'm going to thin that out quite a bit more, and making sure that is all everything's completely covered. Now any excess I can just pull off the end here, because like I said, I only want a thin layer. And now I can do the same for this one as well, the chameleon powder one. The reason I'm spreading it out on this like this on my mat is once it's cured, it will be so much easier for me to clean my mat. because it'll just pull straight off rather than having it in little bits. Now I'm going to leave that for a couple of minutes. So that's now had a couple of minutes, and this is one of the few times that I will use a torch. It's not silicone mould, it's not going to hurt it. I'm going to quickly go over that, burn off any bubbles that have come to the top, leave it another 5 minutes, and then come back and reburn any more off. And now I'm going to leave that to cure up. I'll check it in 5 more minutes, make sure that there's no divots appeared. If there has, then I'll pop a little bit of resin in those. If there isn't, then all I've got to do is leave this overnight, and then I can show you what to do next. These have been curing overnight now, and the resin should be still a little bit flexible, and that is what I'm looking for. See, that's what I mean about it cleaning up your mat nicely. So I don't need that on there. I can trim that off. These are the ones where I use the paint and the paint pens, and all you need to do is get hold of your acetate like this and peel your acetate off of your resin. And this can, once you've got the edge, then it'll pull off really. Oh look, that one that one was too thin, so I didn't have enough resin in that one for it to work, but because I do like to have it as thin as possible. So there we go, they've come out really well, and the reason I want it nice and thin and still flexible is because I like to be able to cut around them and get them into a shape that I feel is suitable to use. And you can't do that. Well, you can do it, but it doesn't work as neatly or as nicely once it's all cured and gone very hard. There we go, look at that little reindeer, and he's come out so cute. And we'll pop him there now, nice and flat, to be able to finish him off. And they've all come out on this one really well. Look at that Merry Christmas, looks great. So I knew those ones would come out, and I will continue to cut those up in a minute. But this is the one I'm not sure about, because this is a new method of doing it for me. So I'm hoping this is going to come out, because if it does, then it really will make a difference, because it gives you another whole way of doing stuff. What we need to do again is find somewhere where we can get that acetate off this resin. Hopefully I've poured this in deep enough everywhere. So all I'm doing now is pulling this off. Not sure I let this dry enough. Sticking on there really well, although it's coming out okay. Oh, maybe it was just that last one. Oh yes, look at that. They have come out brilliantly. I am so pleased with those, especially the ornaments. And again, they will cut up so easily. Oh, I cannot tell you how pleased I am with those. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut these up, and then I'll quickly show you what they all look like finished. Well, I'm really pleased how they've come out, and now they're still a little bit flexible. So if you wanted to put them over something and let them cure up, finished, and have them curved like that, then you could. But I like mine to lay flat, so I'm going to leave them on my mat now for probably the next 10-12 hours. The chameleon powder ones have come out amazing. I love them. I think it's so pretty. There's the little reindeer. Really has come out pretty. I'm so pleased that's worked. And I know the ones with the paints and the pens always come out well. I mean, I've done that lots of times. I can use these in resin. I can use these on things, on cards and different bits and pieces. You can put different borders around them if you want to, with gold pens and things like that. They are so useful, really easy to make, and fun to make as well. I hope you've enjoyed this. Check out the video I've got coming up next. It's a great experiment I did. I think the results were amazing. They really surprised me. Boop that like button, hit that subscribe button, but most of all, enjoy your resin. Take care. Bye.